Ведьмак 3, 60-й эпизод. Я, честно, не знаю, чем сейчас заниматься буду. О, новая штука.
I'd disappeared. Yet Geralt soon discovered my whereabouts, a cell in the dungeon of the Temple Guard. With the help of our friends, Geralt managed to free me. Good thing, too, for indeed I knew what had happened to Ciri. Sadly, she was no longer in Novigrad. Pursued by bandits, then cornered by the Temple Guard, she had disappeared in a flash of light and a gust of heat. Where to? This I did not know.
Ну да, сейчас надо разобраться с отравителем. Точнее, нет, с этим заливатором кислоты в глотке. Точняк. Так что сейчас старт, по крайней мере, ясен и понятен.
Hear that? Been hearing it for a while. Draw your weapon.
С арбалетом. Да, Пресли, ты убрал оружие. Так, вот еще уроды.
That stench. Priscilla, how's it look? Give it to me straight, no sugarcoating.
Her wounds will heal, but
Ну да, вот самый главный вопрос.
What a terrible blow that would be to her trobrettes. Enough to strip her of the will to live.
Any remedy for that?
I fear only your friend Dandelion can be of help on that count.
Я за бочками сбегаю, подожди меня. Бочки, это важно. Бесполезные бочки с бесполезным дропом.
Take the ladder. This is the place. Come, the quicker we take care of this, the better.
Why? Got somewhere to be?
Someone might disturb us. The coroner, for example. Or Reverend Nathaniel Pastodi. Very well. We seek the corpse of a dwarven woodcarver.
Так, вроде все.
Human, wrong body type. Let's keep looking.
Не помню, кстати, приметы.
Looks like necrophage has got to this one.
Сейчас всех. А туда мне выйти нельзя, да, например, вот сюда. Да. О, большое помещение. Да дай пройти.
That's gotta be him.
This one's a she. Remember, beards are no indicator of gender.
Шутка из Толкина.
A dwarf, but the hands. Not a carpenter's. A banker's, more likely. Calluses on the fingers, sawdust in the beard, clothes sticky with sap. Must be our dwarf.
Excellent. I trust you don't grow weak in the knees at the sight of blood.
Not a bit.
Нет.
Start the autopsy.
Where?
А, ну...
Let's look at his head. Hair smells like it's burnt, like he was in a fire.
Notice anything else? That his eyes have been scooped out, for instance?
Those burn marks I see in his eye sockets.
Yes. And some grey dust. Ash, it seems. Very fine.
Murderer gouged out his eyes, then put burning coals in the
Ah!
sockets.
So it seems. Looking at the wounds, it appears our woodcarver was still alive when it happened.
Кошмар.
Let's examine the mouth. Burns, blisters.
Just like Priscilla's.
See this? Incision made into the voice box.
Indeed, so thin as to be nearly unnoticeable.
A small, extremely sharp instrument. Scalpel.
But why? The wound is too small to bleed, and there are signs of swelling. The murderer... I believe he performed a tracheotomy. So the
Какие
victim
тут
wouldn't
это...
die too soon.
Врачи разбирающиеся.
Let's examine his torso.
What have we here? Deep wound on the left side of his rib cage, and a scar the length of his stomach.
Let's examine the chest wound. Yeah, heart carved out, wound cauterized.
Wait a minute, there's something else.
А я поел только что. В аниме обычно показывают вкусную еду, и ты не завидуешь, а тут...
An egg from an
Мерзость, да.
amphibian. A salamander? Scorched but intact.
Это
I
странно.
attended some lectures in herpetology as a student. Afraid I don't recall any amphibians that would lay eggs in corpses. So either Professor Cochrane was deeply mistaken, or this is our murderer's doing.
Это странно, зачем? Чтобы она выросла, вдруг и неожиданно напала? Странно. Ну нет, это вряд ли так раз сработало бы.
Look at the scar. Wounds long and thin, an incision, but the edges are ragged.
Means nothing. Look, no swelling, no bruises. An old injury, perhaps an accident in the workplace.
Open the abdominal cavity.
Due warning, it will stink of rot.
Once fought a Zoogle up to my waist in sewage, so I doubt... Wait. Smells not rot.
Formaldehyde. A medical novelty.
Уже формалин
Heavily
есть.
diluted, it's remarkable at preserving organic tissue. In stronger proportions, it's more destructive than acid.
Explains why there's no smell of decay, and why his throat's scalded.
Конечно, на этой локации, ну, в принципе, потом можешь написать, когда мы закончим с этим квестом.
Look at his hands. These welts. Rope burns, right? He was tied up.
I'd expect so. No one could sit through such torture unless bound.
Speaking from experience.
Yes, that of a victim. Spent a year in the dungeons of Tretogor. Long story.
Some other time, maybe. See the callus? Our dwarf wore a ring, but someone took it off him. See anything interesting on his legs?
His right foot. The ankle swollen, toenails broken. He clearly kicked something very hard. Right before he kicked the bucket.
Doesn't strike me as the right time for jokes.
Apologies. We surgeons, we've a different sensibility.
Самозащита.
And a different sense of humor. His genitals. We ought to inspect those.
I sincerely doubt they bear any relation to the matter.
We'll see. Pull down his trousers and... Shit.
Syphilis, actually. Early stages, no sign of diffusion.
Think there could be a connection?
Only as the killer's potential motivation.
Ну все.
All right. Think I know enough.
Enlighten me, please, because I've still no notion what this is about. What the motive might have been.
Вообще не ебу. Откуда, в смысле, как я мог понять по обследованию? Типа мы и цели эту не знаем вообще практически. Чё за... Ну вот почему это ритуальное убийство? Типа, как он мог это понять? Я про Геральта. Может быть, у него, конечно, есть какие-то знания, которыми я не обладаю, но потому что нам здесь рассказали, это не особо можно сделать вывод, учитывая, что это, по сути, один случай. Учитывая, что с Присциллой не доведено до конца. Только в горло залили эту кислоту. То есть это все еще может быть просто маньяк. Обычный маньяк. Просто бешеный пес. То есть, опять же, наверное, по сюжету и правда первое, скорее всего, но как я это должен был определить? Как зритель, который вот получает определенную порцию информации. Странный момент.
It's some kind of sick ritual. You saw it. Burns in the eye sockets, cavity where the heart should be, scalding liquid, all centering on warmth,
Очень
heat, fire.
Особенно с
It's a lead worth
кислотой.
following. Any idea what his name was?
Fabian Meyer. And I'm Hubert Reich, the coroner. I've come to perform the autopsy, but I see you've done it for me, Joachim. As always, you interfere where you're neither needed nor wanted, drag others into trouble in the process. Who is this?
A student. Lifelong learner.
Третий
I
курс.
had a couple questions for you.
Very well, speak. But be quick. Reverend Nathaniel has come by for an inspection. He'll be here shortly.
You old friends?
Hubert taught me the rudiments of medicine long ago.
And not very well. You've still not mastered certain basic principles. For example, that a doctor's role is to treat the ill, not save the world.
You've not changed a bit.
A compliment?
No, a statement of fact. 30 years, and you've not changed a bit.
Woodcarver's body. Where was it found? It's important.
Plan to investigate? Exciting. He died in his workshop south of the market square, just beside the gate to Far Corners. That poor Trebirance was attacked there. City's abuzz about it. But the woodcarver, Eustace the corpse collector, brought us the body. You should speak to him. Saw him just around the corner.
Популярность растет.
Спасибо за подписку,
Greetings,
добро пожаловать.
Reverence.
Who are these people? I believe I made it clear no one's to be allowed in under any circumstances.
You did, but they're friends of the deceased. Here to collect the body.
Out of the question. Show them out at once.
As your reverence wishes. Gentlemen, follow me. You shall leave via another route.
Why'd you cover for us?
I was covering my own arse. If Reverend Nathaniel had learned someone had entered the morgue, then cut open a corpse without his permission, I'd be in deep trouble. But you didn't give that a thought, did you, Joachim? As ever. Well, while I don't approve of your willfulness, I also wish to see this murderer hang. So, should I learn anything new related to this case, I will let you know.
Поведение этого чела подозрительно было.
Thank you.
Церковника.
Nathaniel, who is he?
A scoundrel, a rogue, like every man who wears the robes of the eternal fire.
Most are scoundrels before they ever put on the robes.
True in his case as well. Before he donned the frock, Nathaniel was a torturer, delighted especially in torturing women. Later, Hierarch Hemmelfart appointed him to oversee the morgue. He deals with the temple guard, supervises cremations, conducts funeral masses in the temple on the Isle, and so forth.
Dream job.
Окей, Сейбер, хорошо. Спасибо.
Might have told me you know the coroner. We could have skipped the trip through the sewers.
I know him, thus I avoid him. I've said enough on the subject.
I decide when we're done with the subject. What's your connection to him?
An old story, but if you insist. The student protests in 1242, you've heard of them? I led them. Hubert, however, denounced me to the authorities. I landed in prison. There you have it. What will you do now?
Plenty of leads. Woodcarver's workshop, the corpse collector who found him, alley where Priscilla was attacked. Got work to do.
As do I. At the hospital. I must return there. But I shall keep my fingers crossed.
And I'll keep my eye on you.
Witcher, I know who burnt the hunter's quarters down. Don't worry though, I don't like them goat plovers either.
Рафлан.
Help a poor fellow out.
Куда бы пойти, куда бы пойти, куда бы мне пойти? Пойду я, наверное... Давай с тебя начну. Говорили, что он тут близко, так и... What the fuck?
Fall afoul of the king of beggars, and you'll get no mercy no matter who you are.
You, Eustace, the corpse collector?
Aye. How'd you know?
Fourth sense, I think it is. You bring Fabian Meyer's body to the morgue?
Fabian. Oh, yeah, I remember. No eyes, no heart, one of them, right? No purse neither, as I recall.
One of them? So there have been other bodies like that?
Sure have. Beggars, street urchins, and street walkers. One was so portly, I had to cut her into pieces to fit her in me wheelbarrow. Slippery sow, they called her, on account of her.
Зря
Some
напали
things
на
are best left
Присциллу.
unsaid. What happened to the pieces?
What do you mean? Reverend
Слишком известная
Nathaniel ordered
личность.
them burned. Every last one. Oh, shame that was.
Shame? Why? Actually, never mind. Another thing that's best left unsaid. You searched Fabian's body?
Well, I cast an eye in his pockets, made sure nothing went to waste.
I call a spade a spade. You rob corpses.
And I call a prick. It's none of your fucking concern. What, you tax collector? Piss off, mutant.
Talk. What did you
40
find on
опыта.
I as you wish. triflings, baubles, glass-beaded wing,
Pissma.
handful of coins, and a letter. Look, vellum, quality parchment, that. I'll wipe off the writing and sell it as new.
That's human skin.
Эм.
Priscilla. Next victim's name. If you'd given this to the right person, she might not have been hurt.
What the fuck do I care what happens to some Priscilla? We short of wenches in this town.
Get out of my sight. Now.
Your average non-you don't do cockroach.
Так, давайте сюда переулок заглянем.
Oh, Lydica, what happened here? Just last time.
Хотела он тут ближе вроде бы.
Finally, someone took pity. Thank you, Richard.
Раз такое дело, ну давайте сюда заглянем. А, это... Да где это живет? Да, Сара. И тут это... Сновидица или как там ее? Ой. Пум-пум-пум-пум. А как сюда попасть-то? Неужели все вот это оббегать нужно? Господи. Оу, щит. Нет, это далеко. Куда-то очень. Ну, тут обойти можно, видимо.
Anyone home?
Begun, or I'll sick me hounds on you. Molly, Striga, come!
Relax. I'm here about Fabian Meyer, looking for his killer.
That's altogether different. Sit, you stupid mutts, lie down. Come on in. Slowly now, lest they bite you.
Charming as beasts go.
You daft? Even I'm scared of them. But better barking dog than an evil man at your door.
Got someone particular in mind?
Sure as shite. Bugger who did Fabian in. As soon as they'd hauled his corpse off, I ran to a mate who raises fighting dogs. Bought these two mutts. Cost me a chunk of change. But I sleep sound at least.
Да уж.
So who might you be?
The Stiff's brother. Gus is the name. We ran a workshop together. Meyer and Meyer.
What'll it be now? Just Meyer?
Name it. I'll be closing it down now. As soon as I find a buyer for this shack, I'll head on to Mahakam. Be near my family or what's left of it. So,
Печально.
what do you want to know? What can I tell you about Fabian?
Tell me what you know about the murder, in order, in detail.
It was like this. Had some work in Oxenford, and I was coming home. Saw a plume of smoke rising over the city. Thought to myself, blast it, gonna miss him burn another hag. But the smoke wasn't coming from Hierarch Square.
Опять
It
пропущу
was coming
главное.
from here. See the soot stains? That's where they burned our sculptures. Folk gathered round the blaze and found Fabian here beside it. They'd already loaded him on the cart by the time I arrived.
Talk to your neighbors. They see anything suspicious beforehand? Hear anything?
Claimed not to. But even if they had, they'd not have helped. In Novigrad, folk give bleeding orphans in the street a wide berth so as not to stain their poor lanes. They care about some dwarf.
Your brother have any enemies? Anyone dislike him? Threaten him, maybe?
'Twas Fabian who threatened this one last. Oh, you were a good dwarf, craftsman like no other. But you were an incorrigible whoremonger as well. Whenever we put a bit of coin aside, I'd say, let's buy some tools, quality timber. No, he grabbed the purse and head out whoring.
Вот до чего
Took to
доводит.
following one in particular. He'd say, "'Tis all your fault, dirty bitch, human dish rag," and other obscenities. Don't rightly know what that was about. Maybe he was in love with her.
Know where I can find her? This dish rag?
City cemetery. She died a few days back, quietly in her sleep. Her pont said a fever took her.
Но это ничего не даст.
Fine, we've talked enough. Need to look around.
Be my guest. Just beware of the dogs.
Statues of the old gods. Nothing but women. Shapely ones.
Неравнодушный. Типа какая-то угроза.
Murderer dragged something heavy. Dragged something across the floor. Statues. Or dragged it from one wall to the other, repeatedly. Bloodstains.
That's where Fabian lay when they found him.
Mind if I go inside the workshop?
I've not even peeked inside since they found Fabian. But I'll open it for you if you want.
Странно. Даже, типа, следователи условно не заходили.
More bloodstains, but not near enough to say he bled to death. Unless somebody got rid of the blood. Left a few stains behind. Formaldehyde. Doubt Fabian used it. Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked.
Это про ногу как раз таки. Возможно, здесь повредил.
Furniture got knocked over. This looks like it was kicked. Eyes. Humanoid.
О боже.
Completely rotten. Nothing interesting here.
Ща, может быть, этот чел еще что-нибудь скажет, не?
Aye.
Had a look at your sculptures.
And? Lifelike, aren't they?
The women especially. Never seen a bust that size on Melitele.
Oh, aye. Fabian's handiwork. I told him, brother, tips like that will crush her back. Whittle him down. He said, nay, they'd sell better this way. Told me to shut the trap.
Продаются.
And sell they did. Till one sermon at the temple. And the celebrating reverend said that whoso buys idols from the non-human Mayas sins twofold, as a heretic and as a lecher. That was the end of that.
Все-таки реально как наказание, возможно.
Already know what happened. Fabian was in the workshop. Murderer attacked him there. They struggled. Fabian was overpowered, then tortured. For a time.
I needn't know the details. Truth be told, I hadn't the stomach for him.
When it was over, the murderer dragged Fabian to the
Да
courtyard.
бы тебя ж попросили
Made
без
a pyre of
подробностей.
sculptures, set them aflame.
But why? Why do all that?
To teach a lesson. To him, you, the whole city.
Ну да.
Fine, we've talked enough. Won't learn anything else here. Take care.
Thanks to you, Geralt.
Oi, Witcher! Coroner wants to see you. Been another
О
victim.
боже.
Told me to say the main door will be open for you. You're to come as soon as you can.
Ладно, я уже досмотрю сейчас. Переулок.
Hey, handsome.
У тебя есть имя? То есть сюжетное?
I know that smell. Formaldehyde.
Grab him!
Sis, that him.
Oh my...
That's him.
Gotta get around him!
Не понял.
Come on!
Зажали.
Fucky, come on!
Блин, пропустил.
Think you'll gut me too, huh? Up your ass, deviant! Hoes can fight back!
Calm down, I'm not gonna hurt you. What are you doing here?
Getting vengeance. Well, why are you staring?
Чё
Have you
за...
not heard killers always return to the scene of their crime? My brothers are waiting here to give him a warm welcome. For Priscilla. Almost did her in, the whole son.
I know. Here to look for clues and find anyone who might know something.
Fear I can't help you much. But I can tell you what I know.
You and Priscilla friends?
Friends? Nah. But she saw more than a stupid whore in me. Treated me with respect. It mattered. I was looking to give up whoring. Pick up a decent trade. But none would take me. Not as a washerwoman, nor a servant, nor a cook. Felt like a leper, I did. But Priscilla, she was different. Agreed to put me in her play, you see? Lots of the other actors, they were afraid on account of her jesting about the eternal fire. Whistling Wendy on stage, can you imagine it? Well, dream's gone now. I'm back to working street corners.
Может, она
Sorry
тоже...
to hear that.
И может быть в опасности.
Or so I tell myself.
Priscilla wasn't the sole victim. You aware of that?
Oh, dearie. Of course I was. This didn't start yesterday. Others have died like this before. Beggars, street girls,
Ну вот,
orphans.
да.
But who'd have a drama concern
Не,
about them?
не зря цель
Human
такую
rubbish.
выбрали, как
It's what the guards
Преступнику.
call us.
Recall any names?
They didn't have proper ones. Baldy, curly, buns. That's what folk called them. No friends, no families. Their bodies were burned long ago.
Take care now. I gotta look around some more. Appreciate it if you didn't disturb me.
Naturally, we'll stand aside, behave. But do tell us if you find anything else here.
Oh, my head's ringing. What do you want?
Так, ладно.
A brazier. This time of year?
Ну, понятно, уже все выяснили.
Human. Priscilla's?
So, what is it?
Take care now.
Мисклиснул.
I gotta look around.
Naturally.
Да.
You scared?
Тут была точка, вот.
Man's footprint. The murderer's maybe. Weight on his heel. Took a step back. Murderer fled before the guards arrived. Ran this way.
So, what is it?
Не могу ничего рассказать,
Take care.
ну ладно.
And trail ends here. Strange. Even I couldn't jump this wall.
А вот и бумажка очередная. Да, иди нахер.
Awful.
A brazier. This time of year?
You scared?
I know that smell.
Нет, ничего, ну, просто красным до сих пор подсвечиваю. Окей, ладно, пойдем дальше. Не ждал, кстати, что такой квест большой окажется. Типа глобальным настолько. Мастер Вичер пробегает.
Geralt, right? I'm glad you're here. Held off on the autopsy till you arrived.
Nice of you, especially given you didn't seem pleased about my previous visit.
Because you came unannounced and in unfortunate company. I also had Reverend Nathaniel to contend with. Our spiritual caretaker has left the city on some important matter, and I know who you are, what drives you. I'm more than happy to aid your investigation.
Von Grad's told me all about you.
Ah, doubtless you've heard how I had the noble leader of the student protesters thrown in prison. But did you hear the protests were far from peaceful, or did he neglect to mention it? People were dying, Witcher. Those who rejected liberty, equality, and fraternity would be found in the gutter come morning. Their throats slit from ear to ear with surgical precision. Joachim had been my favorite student, but alas, I had to do something. So I reported him. Then I left the university and found work in the morgue, where none care about my past. Whereas Joachim, oh, fate's ironies. Years later, he was appointed head of the very ward I had founded.
Кстати, вот да, я тоже думал, что он молодой какой-то очень.
How old's Von Grad's? 50? 60?
53, I believe. Why do you ask?
You look a little young to have been his teacher.
Not surprising. For years, I've lived in the cold and dark, breathing the vapors of embalming fluids. In short, working with corpses extends one's life. Amusing, is it not?
Wow.
Not fond of Nathaniel?
Very few people are. He's cruel and capricious. He stormed in here once, grabbed a scalpel I was sterilizing, sliced my back with it to the bone, because I had forgotten to lock the storeroom. Hard to be fond of someone like that, wouldn't you agree?
А под суд его нельзя.
Who's the victim this time?
Joris Aquinas, a lecturer in theology at Oxenfurt Academy. Found this morning at his home on a catafalque made of his books.
Плохо преподавал.
In particular?
It seems all the tomes dealt with the eternal fire. Treatises critical of the faith's doctrines.
Yeah, mortal sin in Novigrad.
Да.
Let's start.
Gladly. The wounds conform to the killer's modus operandi. The victim was bound and forced to drink formaldehyde. Next, the killer removed the eyes, placed burning coals in the sockets, then opened the rib cage and... What's this? A parchment made of human skin.
A message from the murderer. The name of his next victim. Patricia Vegelbud.
Do you know her?
Yes. Even went to her estate once with... Gotta find her now.
Да. А это интересно за то, что сынка укрыли, хотел ее наказать.
Till next time.
Ой, не туда, М. Думаю, сюда будет ближе.
Washed your hair lately?
Arms for the poor?
Или сохранюсь-ка. Да. На всякий случай. Стражником, что ли?
What do you want?
Need to talk to Patricia Vegelbud.
You think any bum off the street can...
Her life's in danger. Let me in or have her blood on your hands.
If you thought this up, and I'll let you in, I'll throw my ass out the door.
Always thought a guard was supposed to protect his charge, not his ass.
So be it. I'll take you to Lady Vegelbud. Just no trickery. Understand?
Oh, Geralt, what a pleasant surprise.
Not pleasant at all. I gotta see your mother. Her life's in danger.
In danger? Come now, I saw Mother this morning. She seemed sad, true, but in perfect health.
No time to explain. Trust me, please.
I find this all very hard to believe, but you appear to be quite serious.
Да.
Please, follow me.
A fire fit for Bellatane, except it's the wrong time of year.
I mentioned Mother seemed sad. Do you remember? In
кого-то
fact, she's in the midst of a crisis of faith. A rather serious one.
Поэтому его хотят
We'd been to Novigrad.
бахнуть.
Mother had seen the pyres in Hierarch Square, uttered not a word on our way home. She had all the holy books, insignias, reliquaries gathered, taken outside and burnt.
Нифига
Then she
себе.
locked herself in her
Как
room.
We
радикально.
need to hurry.
Я даже болтать не стал, как раз чтобы побыстрее. Ты чё орёшь?
Hear that? Calm and quiet. All seems to be in order.
We should go in, just to be sure.
You're relentless, aren't you? Fine. But wait here, please. Mother's certainly not in the mood for guests. He ran out the other door! Catch him!
Твою мать.
Spread out! Murderer's still here!
I'll break your bones!
Куда мне ты? Так, а где мне его преследовать?
There he is! Get him!
Странно, а где след какой-нибудь или что-то в этом духе? Что за глупость? Почему я с ними обязан драться? О, господи. Какая глупость. Это было неожиданно больно.
before I put a bolt between your eyes.
Listen, you got the wrong guy.
Save your trickery, taking you to the heiress.
Well, killer's already escaped. Lead the way, hero.
We got him, Lady Ingrid. Wasn't easy, but...
Ты чё, дебил?
Before you hurt yourself. This man is innocent.
Forgive me. I saw him running. Thought it was the killer fleeing.
I was chasing him, and I'd have caught him if you hadn't gotten in my way.
Out of my sight, at once! Mother! Why did he do this to her? Why?
Because she blasphemed the eternal fire. Only thing that ties her to the other victims. Ingrid, I know this is a hard time for you, but usually the killer leaves a note on the body. A note indicating his next victim. May I?
Very well. But you should be on your own. I do not wish to see her in this state. I do not wish to remember.
Удивительно, как он сделал это в плане.
And let her be the last victim. Please.
Как бы это сказать? Ну, типа, крики же должны быть, наверное, или что-то там в духе. Ну, я не знаю. Типа, супер-мега как-то по стелсу чересчур. Так,
Bruises, broken finger.
На всякий случай я закрою.
She defended herself. Must be why it took him longer, and why he almost got caught. Here it is. Sweet Nettie, crippled Kate's. Growing bolder, not just the name but the place too. Won't get away this time.
Ладно, сейчас я проверю еще, вдруг что-нибудь лежит там. Что, да, она светится. Сейчас я соберу все.
Same wounds as the previous victims. Examination would be a waste of time. Gotta get to crippled Kate's fast.
Так. Ну, я не удивлюсь, если этот чел и окажется, типа, преступником, потому что нам же сказали, что он там куда-то ушел за город. Выбора никакого здесь не дали. Я тут даже, типа, лишний не разговаривал, типа... Просто пошли, давай. Это, конечно, мне немного не нравится. Типа, как говорится, либо не давайте выбора вообще, типа как в JRPG, типа нет никакого выбора. Просто идешь по сюжету, у тебя никаких вопросов нету. И тогда, типа, ощутимее, типа, чувствуется, что да, ты ничего не мог поделать, ты сделал все, что мог. Ну, типа, это... Ой, как же вы задрали. Короче, немного нечестно получается. Куда я побежал? Так. Окей, я туда. Да отвали нахуй. Блин, съебись. Я вижу. Так, лучше надо на следующий сделать записи. Ну, ладно, сейчас тэпнусь. Опять же, кусочек здесь квеста мы закончили, а сколько там будет длиться, неизвестно. Поэтому лучше... может хоть зайти продаться. То у меня все же подзабился рюкзачок.
stayed in the forest for a unit. At least he died.
So, what's it gonna be?
I'm so...
Greetings, Ibeer.
Greetings, Geralt.
What do you have on offer?
Хотя нет, починиться мне тоже не помешает. Не сильно, правда, повредилась. Бутафорский меч. Не думаю, что он мне нужен. Хотя даже он не весит ничего. Стоп, а что у меня весит тогда? Откуда у меня набралось? А, блин, у денег нету. Сука.
So long.
Ладно, да, все, точно конец.